So, Newcastle United back to winning ways at St James's Park at the weekend. A 2-1 victory over Wolves, who are a form team coming into the game. And it was just a brilliant, brilliant result to get us back on track. Hopefully push for those European places and secure one of them by the end of the season. Let's get into the game. Loads and loads to talk about in this match. There was a lot of incident. It was actually a really good football match. And overall, Newcastle United, in my opinion, I'm biased, but it was a fair result, I think. I think we were worthy of the win. At the end of the day, we created so many chances in that first half. The game should have been put to bed by half-time. Unfortunately for us, it's the same old situation. Yeah, we were 1-0 up and Isak scored a fantastic goal, a lovely header from a superb cross from Kieran Trippier. But really, we were ruining our missed chances, really. How we didn't score 2 or 3 in that first half, I do not know. And really, on another day, we might have actually regretted that. So, thankfully, we didn't. But it's a bit of a lesson that I think Eddie Howe will point out to the players. Like, you've got to take your chances while you're creating them, because in this league, you can be punished at any moment. And we saw that in the second half with their equalizer. So, although we scored loads of chances, created loads of chances, we only scored 1 goal. It was a fantastic goal, like I said. Isak's header into the corner. I mean, he's just fantastic. In fact, let's talk about Isak. So, he is just absolute quality. I'm so grateful we have him in our team. The way he plays is just effortless. The way he glides around the field, the way he makes everything look so effortless and smooth. He's what you'd sort of class as a classy player. Yeah, his finishing's good, but his all-round play is good. Like his tackling, his tracking back. He was in midfield at some points, like tackling players and stuff. He was working absolutely so hard. And, you could see in the second half he'd absolutely emptied the tank and he was completely worn out. I think if we could get an out-and-out striker who is really top quality, Isak playing off a really good striker is going to be a deadly combination. The other big moment in the game, of course, the controversial moment, was Nick Pope not giving away a penalty and not being red carded. Now, for me, I've watched it. At the time when it happened, I was in the Gallagher end, so I was at the far end of the field. I thought it was a red card and a penalty. When I've watched it back, I still feel like it is. Like I know there's some people on social media who don't see it that way, and that's completely fine. I think if that's Newcastle that happens to, I feel like that's something we'd be complaining about for the rest of the season, because to me it was very clumsy. Yes, there's the argument the Wolves player sort of was throwing himself into it, but it was so clumsy from Pope, and I do feel like he was lucky not to be sent off for the second home game in a row. Thankfully, for some reason, we got away with it. The VAR wasn't checked, I don't think, and it didn't happen. So there was a stroke of luck there. That we needed, and we got it. You just knew the second half wasn't going to be as easy as the first half. Like, we completely battered them, but Wolves, to their credit, did come out and make it more difficult for us in the second half. They changed some players, they mixed things up, they made it a lot harder. I think they might have even put an extra man in midfield, and our midfield in the second half just seemed very exposed. And I think part of that is St Maximin. Now, I don't want to be too harsh on St Maximin, because actually, during the game, he did some really good stuff in that first half in particular. He played 2 fantastic balls through to Isak that Isak raced onto and had chances with. And the vision from St Maximin for that was fantastic. I got a bit frustrated. I say a bit frustrated. I got really frustrated with St Maximin because he just always cuts in every single time. And I just wish he'd mix it up a bit more. I'm not saying he needs to be going on the outside every single time, but I just wish he would do it sometimes. I tell you what, though, Miggy was a difference maker. So when Miggy came on, was doing lots of positive stuff straight away, full of energy, always, but to create stuff, to get into the game, and then obviously he had the goal and took it brilliantly. I mean, what a move as well. I mean, the way Newcastle play football now, the one-touch football through defences, I mean, this is just stuff we could only dream of 2 years ago. We're playing at a level now where it's just completely different. And Miggy's goal, his winning goal, was just a pure example of that. And even at the end, when we took a short corner and because we were trying to wind the clock down, we ended up playing this quick one-touch passing, and it was Botman of all people who had a chance to seal it, and he just hit it over the bar. But we're doing stuff that we should be really proud of, and it's really good to watch. And I know that it's been frustrating not getting the results recently, but we do play some really good football, and I think you just sometimes have to look at it and and enjoy those moments when they happen. I think Murphy played really well as well. You know, a lot of debate about him and his quality. And yeah, look, Murphy's probably not going to be there in 3, 4, 5 years' time. But at the moment, he is, and he deserved his shot, I think, and he took it, and I think he played really, really well. He's always looking to do positive stuff, is Murphy, and that's what I like about him. But he also gets stuck in, and he also tracks back, and you can see why Eddie Howe likes him, because he's that mould of player who will just work and work and work. Obviously, Wolves' equaliser, it was unlucky. Trippier slipped. He was going to clear it. Yeah, possibly there's a bit of a mix-up between Pope and Trippier, and maybe Pope should have claimed it. Ultimately, though, when that goal went in, what was annoying wasn't the fact that that had happened. It was the fact that we weren't 3-0 up or 4-0 up. It was the fact that that goal mattered, and that was the problem. Like that should have. And I think to be fair, it did galvanise the players, and their attitude wasn't heads down. It was like, no, let's get back in the lead. Yeah, it was a messy goal. It was a cheap goal to give away, but ultimately the reason it mattered was because we hadn't taken our chances, and we need to start taking more chances when we're creating them, because we created, I don't know, we must have had 10, 15 shots in a 20-minute spell in the first half, I'd imagine. And we only scored 1. So it's something that we still need to work on as a team, but we can't be too disappointed. It was a really good performance overall. We got the win. It's good to get a late winner, and great to see Miggy back on the score sheet. I mean, where would we be this season without Miggy's goals? I wonder if anyone's actually worked that out, because he scored some big goals for us this season. One last observation from the game. It's quite funny. We get the time wasting tag aimed at us quite often these days, Newcastle. But it was quite funny to see Wolves time wasting at 1-1. Now, I don't have a problem with them doing that. I think they were managing their game. They were trying to get the point. They were trying to see it out. I don't have a problem with that. They were time wasting. But then it was quite funny when we went 2-1 up to see them fetching the ball for Nick Pope, fetching the ball from the sideline for throw-ins and all this sort of thing, and like really trying to hurry us up. So it was just kind of funny to see them time wasting and then getting annoyed at us for time wasting to see the result out when we were 2-1 up. But listen, every team does it. Great game overall. Love being there. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know what you thought of the match in the comments below, and I'll see you really soon for another video.